We work to provide for our physical needs and the physical needs of others. About our physical needs, this one's kind of obvious. Proverbs 12:11, the one who works his land will have plenty of food, but whoever chases fantasies, or another translation says, but whoever chases worthless things lacks sense. Proverbs 16:26, a worker's appetite works for him because his hunger urges him on. This was true in an agrarian society, and it's true today. It's a biblical principle that we work. It's God's method for providing for us. We work so that we can eat. It's explicit. Paul writes in 2 Thessalonians 3:10, if anyone will not work, neither shall he eat. But it's not just about our own needs. God blesses us so that we can meet the needs of others as well. We're to be good stewards. Proverbs 21:26, he is filled with craving all day long, but the righteous give and don't hold back. The righteous give and don't hold back. I love that. Why? We were created in God's image. And for God so loved the world that what did he do? Gave his only son. If God is a giver, then we are going to be fulfilled when we are acting like he does. When we are giving, we are going to be fulfilled. And there are a lot of proverbs like this next one I'm going to read, 22:9. The generous will themselves be blessed, for they share their food with the poor. Now, there's been a lot of discussion in our political arena, and I'm not getting into that, don't get nervous, about socialism and some of the benefits of different iterations of socialism. You know what? It might work if we weren't selfish people. It might work if there weren't lazy people. There are ideas, from the rich give to the poor, whatever. But I'd like to suggest this when it comes to politics and when it comes to this particular topic, especially poverty. If the church, the universal church, including New Life and all other Christian churches, were doing and being what we were supposed to do and be, the poverty problem would be much smaller than it is. There are tremendous numbers of passages about being generous to the poor here. God does not bless us so that we can buy the second or third house. He does not bless, not that it's wrong to own a second or third house. If your money is, if you're giving everything to God first and giving away billions of dollars, sure, buy your second or third house, whatever. I'm not saying that's bad. What I am saying is that can't be our focus, just more and more and more for me. Jesus warns specifically about that when he talks about the guy that said, I'm just going to fill my barns, right? And then I'll live, eat, drink, and be happy. And Jesus said, you fool, what if your life is required of you today? The point is, God, we work so that we can provide for our family, but also so that we can meet the needs of others. We work to make a difference. We need to have a kingdom attitude. If you are a Christian, if you have accepted Christ in your life, accepted his forgiveness, then I want to challenge you this morning to become a missionary. Period. Every one of you to become a missionary. Now, what I'm not saying is that every one of you need to go into full-time missionary work and quit your job and move somewhere. No, that's not my point at all. My point is that we desperately need doctors, teachers, accountants, tradesmen, craftsmen, artisans, laborers. We need men and women in those fields who see themselves not as a tradesman who happens to be a Christian, not as an accountant who happens to be a Christian, but who see themselves as a missionary that happens to be an accountant. A missionary that happens to be a teacher, a missionary that happens to be a doctor. Because when we do that, we will start to see the gospel accelerate like we've never seen before. Chick-fil-A, which I love, and like you, I'm sad that we can't get after church, but it's probably good for their employees. I appreciate that they do that. Their mission is to be America's best quick service restaurant at winning and keeping customers. Do you know what their vision is? Their vision is to glorify God by being a faithful steward of all that is entrusted to us and to have a positive influence on all who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. That's amazing. Their corporate vision statement is to glorify God. I love that. And that's what it looks like when a company has a missionary mindset, when a company has the vision and a kingdom attitude. It's the stonecutter. You know, you ask one stonecutter, back in the olden days, what are you doing? He goes, I'm slaving away cutting stone. And you ask another one what he's doing. He goes, I'm trying to be the best stone cutter I can be. And you ask the third one, what are you doing? And he says, I'm trying to build a cathedral. I'm part of building a cathedral. He gets it. And men and women, if we want to be the people that God wants us to be at work, we've got to have a kingdom mindset that says, I'm not just called to make disciples on Sunday mornings or in Bible study. I'm called to make disciples wherever I go. I'm called to be God's ambassador. I'm called to walk into the workplace and ask God to make a difference through me. If you are an accountant, you should be praying for your clients. You should be praying for your colleagues every day, because the people that God has put you around in your workplace are not an accident. And that applies to whatever profession you're involved in, whatever activity. If you're a student, the people that are in your classes are not an accident. If you're a student, the people that live around you, if you're in college, are not an accident. The people that are on your sports teams are not an accident.